This is my vanishing point tracking system for virtual production with Unreal Engine. This is Vanishing Point Vector. I have two more smaller ones. This is Vanishing Point Viper, and this is exactly the same, just another Viper. And this video is part one of a series I'm producing about this tracking system. In this video I will unbox it. I will show you what's inside the box and for what it's for. And in the upcoming videos I will get everything set up and running. We'll show you the quality of the tracking, how fast and easy everything is, and why I think that this system is the best tracking system for indie virtual production. And I'm not affiliated with this company. I bought the system with my own money. I bought it for me. I just love it. I also know that a lot of you guys are curious how this works because there's just no information out there, detailed information about the system, and in this video series we will get very into the detail. I will share my screen, I will show you how I connect everything, and at the end of the day how everything works. I think what's very special about this system is that this is an all-in-one system. If you have this, if you have your PC with Unreal Engine, you just need a camera and that's it. Because the system comes with a decklink card for the camera. The system comes with all you need. But I won't talk too much about it, I will show you. So let's go to the desk and have a look at the Vanishing Point tracking system. So here it is, Vanishing Point Vector. It's upside down, obviously, because we are opening it now. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it. So that's all that comes into this huge box and a little more, but more to this in a second. Let's start with the heart of everything, because the system comes with two sensors. On the left side is a sensor, on the right side is a sensor. Let's start with the left one. So this is the sensor that can do more, and this is the Stereolabs Z sensor. This is one of two options you can put onto your camera, to do the tracking of the virtual camera. And this sensor really doesn't need anything else because it understands the room, it understands the floor. I have no idea if you can say it's a LiDAR sensor, but I would say it's some, I'm not so deep in the technique to understand if this is really LiDAR, but it's very similar, I would say, how it works. So if you put it into practice. On the bottom, you can see that it comes with one of the mounts, and I think we can go on with the mounts here on the right side. This is just the part you put onto your camera. Can you see this? Is it sharp now? Yeah, so you put this onto your camera, and the other side is just to mount this sensor onto your camera. Okay, that's it for sensor number one, the Stereolabs sensor. We do have another mount for the other sensor, but it's exactly the same as this one. And I'm just using one. I have no idea why there are two. I think you can also only use one of these sensors at the same time. So let's have a look at the other sensor. And this sensor is an Intel sensor. And it's not really a sensor. And it's, for example, this is something I wouldn't consider as LiDAR or so, because this is a fisheye camera. Yeah, this is just a camera with a very, very wide lens. I will show you this on the screen. What I mean with this. So the reason why we got two sensors here with this main system is because each sensor has its advantages and disadvantages. 99% of the time using the Intel sensor. And I think there's one very interesting thing, because this Vanishing Point Vector system is also available in a light version. So this is called Vector Light. And the light system is nearly, I think, everything the same, but just one sensor. It's not in Stereolabs, it's also not in Intel, but another one that's very similar to this Intel sensor as far as I know. And it's much, much cheaper. So if you ask me if I would buy it today, I would probably just go with a light system, because this is the sensor I personally use like really 99% of my time. And in very rare cases, I go with the Stereolabs sensor. Okay, let's go on with a cable. So we have just one more USB cable with this point here on the other side. So we have just regular USB-A, I think, and this one. And this is just the cable here for the Intel sensor. So for example, the Stereolab sensor has this cable here attached to the sensor, and this one, yeah, you just have to plug it. Let's have a look at other cables. So this long cable here is just an USB extension, and it's an active one. Have you ever seen such a huge USB plug? Well, maybe. On the other side there are two, just to give it more power. You plug in both USB cables into your PC. This one just supports that one. And the only reason is because of the length, and we just need the length because your camera with the tracking sensor mounted on it is not always very close to your PC in a shooting situation. Oh my gosh, I'm messing up this. And this is, I think, a 25-meter USB cable so that you have enough room with your camera to move. So we are already coming to the second last piece of the unboxing here of this system, and this is just this adapter. The only reason why I'm showing you this is this belongs to the Blackmagic Design Decklink card, and I can't show it right now here because it's built in my PC. I already plugged it into my PCI slot. So this cable here comes with it. I'm never using this cable. So, but one interesting thing, I will show you here a picture of my Decklink card. I made sure to order an HDMI version of the Decklink card because I'm using the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, and this one just outputs HDMI. Yes, I'm working with HDMI output, not with SDI. Well, I would love to work with SDI out, but right now I'm working with HDMI out, and that's the reason why I was asking for the Decklink card with HDMI input and HDMI output. So that's it about the Decklink card. So very special. This system comes really with everything you need. So even the Decklink card is included in the system. So I thought that was the second last thing, but it's not. So at the very last, I want to talk about the most important thing, the USB stick. But before, we have some, yeah, well, is it boring stuff? Well, some things to do. Come on, this guy here. I only use it twice at the very beginning. This is just for calibration purpose. And since I have two sensors, no, I use it 4 times, and 2 lenses, I just use it 4 times, 1 time for each sensor and the same round for another lens, but the same camera. So I have to do the calibration with this guy. I will show you how to do this, but luckily this is just a one-time procedure, and you can store and save your calibration files, and you only have to redo it if you get a new lens, if you get a new camera, for whatever reason, or if you are not happy with your first calibration. But it's really not that hard. So there's another tracking or calibration object. Can I say object or piece? So that's this floor plane here, or they call it floor anchor. So this is something I'm using on a daily basis. So sorry, this is huge. You put it on the floor, and this is to set the floor plan. You only need this one for the Intel sensor. More to this later, yeah, because the Intel sensor is not that smart. It's just a camera, and you have to tell this camera where the floor is, and this is what this piece is for. The Stereolab sensor is a little smarter, and he understands where the floor is. So I'm really using this piece here every day. It does a great job. I love it. So now, last but not least, the final piece, and by far the most important thing of this system, is the USB stick with the included Vanishing Point all-in-one tracking software. So of course you always get the latest version via email, via download, so you really don't need the USB stick, and you only can open the software when one of these sensors is connected to your PC. But the software is where the real magic happens when we talk about Genlog, like really syncing the real world with the virtual world, getting the footage from the camera into Unreal Engine, and very easy. So it's an all-in-one system. You really don't have to learn anything else with Unreal Engine and how you get like your camera signal into Unreal Engine and so on. Everything comes with this software and this stick. And I think that's the magic with the Vanishing Point system, all in one. So Let's get ready for the next box. This is Vanishing Point Viper, much smaller. I have 2 of them and you need to purchase them separately. It's not the same system. It doesn't come with a vector. So maybe you ask, okay, why do you need Viper? Well, this is just the sensor if you want to track zoom and focus. And this is why I got 2 of them. They work exactly the same. The difference is just in the software, and you have to say, is this zoom or is it focus? And this is the main sensor. Here we do have the cable for the sensor. It's an USB cable on the one side for the PC. On the other side, don't ask me what the name is of this guy. I know it's used in film, but I don't know the name. We have the red points over here and it's connected. We have 2 more things as part of the Viper system. These are the lens rings, but I don't use them. I got infinite lens rings. I wanted and I had to use like my infinite zoom to be able to turn them around. So I got other ones. And of course, the magic, the baby, the software, the Viper software. It's another software than the vector software. We need both. But again, this is also here where the magic happens. And yes, I love the system, but it's not all that easy. I thought, okay, I get this all in one system and then everything works and I can start shooting. And this is what I did. I started shooting the day the system arrived. But man, there's so much more to learn, to figure it out, and the information is just not out there. There are a lot of hurdles, but it's fun. It's the best, it's one of the best things I've ever done in my life. Virtual production is really also a dream world. And if you're like me, if you want to build your virtual production studio, I have a free course for you. I share my experience, my workflow, everything in a free course. I link it down here in the description below the video, where we go more into depth about all the tracking, about the equipment I'm using to make everything work. Yeah, just to share my whole process. Well, there is not this single way to get through Unreal Engine, but I think I figured out. Obviously, I would say that the way I figured out is the best process. Definitely for me, and it's definitely something that I think, okay, it's worth sharing with others, just to have a look, just to see how I do it, why I'm doing things the way I'm doing it, which camera I'm using and why I'm using this camera. Yeah, well, just my virtual production story that's very comprehensive. And just all the information that I wished I had like a year before, a year and a half before, or something like this. Okay, thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video where I will set up my vanishing point tracking system. I will mount it on the camera, connect it to my C, install the software and connect it to Unreal Engine.